and it didn't really work, so we'll see tonight if it's working. So anyways, so who is there? We have Peter. Hi Peter. Hi Saskia. Hey, UK is with us. Hi Adam. Beautiful. Isaac from Ireland. Tyler from Canada. Anne is from England as well. So yeah, we're gonna have a few people coming tonight who are going to share some information. Do you have any question, guys, that you would like me to ask first? And then yeah, we can start to bring some other protagonists. So the good news is that now we're starting to structure ourselves. We're starting to have people in Canada, in Australia, in UK, in Ireland, in the USA, who are starting to structure themselves and share the right message of the referendum initiated by the citizen. So that's an amazing news. We are basically creating a form of alliance in a way where people are not just lost by themselves trying to fight with stupid, ridiculous proclamation of separation, like left, right, communist, capitalist. Like we need to transcend all this. The Yellow Vest movement needs to transcend all that. So the whole idea would be to bring people into the understanding that the whole reason why tonight the reason why we are not capable of changing the world is because of our powerlessness. I don't know if it's really English, but we are powerless. We are constitutionally, legally powerless. And this needs to stop. Like we basically need to become powerful. And how do we become powerful is what we're going to talk about tonight. And yeah, so if you have any question, we have Sibas from Portugal. We have Paul from Devon, Plymouth. We have Jane in the place. Hello, Jane. We have Ren. Where are you from, Jane? Where are you from, Ren? Paul, we have discovered an engine that runs on air and atmospheric compressed. We can call on B3. Yeah, I actually met the inventor of this technology. His name was Guy Negre. I actually invested in his company 10 years ago, this air compressed technology motor, which is obviously working, but yeah, there's big financial interest who are blocking this technology to get out. So yeah, this technology is available. We can do better than that. Like I made a lot of research, and we can do much better than air compressed technology. We have Michael, we have Warren with us, Jane is from Manchester, we have Francis Leader, that I talked to Francis a few days ago. She's an amazing lady from UK. Everyone, guys, like if you're not friend with her, I don't know if you can add her as a friend, because she's already having 5,000 friends, but she's going to represent the UK referendum initiated by the citizens branch. So yeah, guys, yeah, be in contact with her. Susan, watching from Yellow Vest Uprising US from Boston. Here we go. Thank you, Odd. Keep up the good work. Warren, Francis, hi there, everyone. Here we go. Hi, Roman. The word is awake. Yeah, he's awakening. He's in the process of awakening. I would love the word to be already awakened, but yeah, it's a process. It's a process. It takes time. Yeah, Nikola Tesla, no normal air, which is compressed. Yes. This is the kind of discussion we can have separately, Paul. But yes, I made a lot of research on Tesla's technology. So I starting to expose a little bit who I am, because a lot of people came to me and starting to ask what is my background. So yeah, first of all, I created a space in. So if you are sending me a message, not on my personal account, but if you're sending a message on the RIC referendum initiated by the citizen group, the fan page, if you're sending a message, you will basically get connected to me. You're going to be hooked to me. And you're going to have a few different options given, so you can support the RIC, you can get to know who I am, or you can learn about the RIC, what the RIC is. So if you haven't done that yet, please send me a message. So go on the page, click write a message, and you're going to get into a virtual assistant that basically going to answer some of your points and some of your questions, and going to direct you, because I can't do that. I can't spend my time answering the same thing to all the people. So I program a virtual assistant that will basically share with you what you need to know and direct you into whatever space you want to go. So if you want to support financially, you have to click connect to Roman support and you can make a donation. And if you want to know who I am, now there's a button where you have who is Roman Light, and you can get to know a little bit the type of work I was doing before the RIC. I just put a tiny little bit of information, but you will see that there's a whole bigger picture behind that. So I indeed work on Nikola Tesla's technology. I worked on alternative medicine. I worked on quantum physics. I healed many people using different approach. I discovered things who are like, it's hard to explain, but it's a groundbreaking understanding of the nature of reality and the nature of how this is all organized. And I'm actually offering, for those of you who are interested to learn about what it is, so you can actually apply that to your life. A lot of people were asking me how everything gets so clear in my mind. It's not a surprise. I spent years and years and years studying everything. When I say everything, is everything: economy, international relationship, geopolitics, quantum physics, spirituality. I studied many religions to trying to see what is the truth embedded in each of them, and basically trying to understand what the elite were knowing that we couldn't understand. So yeah, what I found out is pretty groundbreaking, and I don't want to speak too much about that because there's a lot of things happening in the background. I'm in touch with international researchers, and I'm a part of different groups who are working in the background to bring that knowledge to the world, because we cannot think a better future if we are not really understanding the mistakes that we're doing today in the relationship that we have with the world and the reality we are surrounded with. So I would like to instill a little bit of that knowledge a little bit in those talks, so all of you can starting to upgrade your consciousness and your relationship with yourself first and the world. So yeah, we can move peacefully in this process of transformation and transmutation. So Michael, support from California. Thank you, Michael. Aruna. Oh, Aruna. It's funny because I'm laughing because it's an Aboriginal word that means welcome or joyful. And I know that because I created a project, a community project, which was called the Aruna Project. So it's interesting. From UK. Thank you, Francis, Susan. So do anyone has any questions? Yeah, Victor Schauberger, Free Energy Impulse Device. I studied all this years and years and years ago, and now we getting to a point where we're starting to understand energy. Like we're starting to. I don't want to speak too much about that because I don't want to lose people. But yeah, I can tell you, I'm probably one of the rare people on earth that can understand deeply in a mechanical, scientific, spiritual level how all this is entangled, because it's all connected. Like the big mistake that we're doing today is to separate religion, science, left, right, capitalism, communism. It's all entangled into a pattern, and that's my specialty. My specialty is patterns, sacred geometry, understanding like the mechanism of how things are entangled. And this is how it's so easy for me to share that RIC principle and see how we are doing the wrong thing by trying to separate what is actually a part of one. So it's it's I can't just speak about that tonight because it's going to take hours and hours and hours. So great to see French Universe not giving in and moving forwards. Yes, so today, 29th of December, 2 days before the end of the year, there was probably a few 100,000 people in the street. It's really hard to know how much because the media are basically saying bullshit. They're saying, oh, there's just 100 people here and there are 100 people there. Like it's such an insult to our determination and what is going on, that they're trying to minimize that much. But now we are attacking them frontally. So we are starting to protest in front of their office. So it's hard for them to deny that thing because we're there. We're basically camping in front of them, and they have to send them cops to move them from us, because we say you are collaborators, like you are like the Nazis, propaganda, fake information, so people will not know what's going on. On a different aspect, Macron gave some information that people needs to become more violent, like cops needs to become more violent, and the justice needs to make examples of people who are arrested. So we are now having people who having prison sentenced for like sometimes even nothing, like just for protesting. So we have a few cases of people who've been already sentenced for jail, and like they are making an appeal, but we don't know how, because like I don't know if all of you knows that, but since 2016, end of 2016, the government actually changed the rules and put the justice below the executive, which actually mean that we are absolutely not in a democracy anymore, because there's no separation of the three power, the legislative, executive, and justice. But of course, you know, when you are in a soft dictator, like you don't really care, like you just do whatever you think you can do. And there's always going to be some people who are going to be ready to hit protesters because they have to pay their rent. Like, you know, that's mentality, like whatever it has to be done will be done no matter what. And this is what brought already like the World War, like the First World War, are people who put their duty before common sense. So it's important to remind everyone that like things can actually go bad very quickly. Like if we're starting to have videos showing cops who are really, really nervous and starting to target even journalists and beating up journalists, which is like going against every international laws. But of course, no one will complain because France is a part of the mafia. So like all the country in the world. So it's important to understand who's the real enemy and stop playing that stupid game of division. I receive so many messages from people around the world asking me about the left and the right and the immigrant and I'm like, guys, how many times do I have to repeat again and again and again and again that this is a game that the people in power put in place to force us to look around, and they're pointing at different directions, so we're not pointing at their direction. And if we're stupid enough to play that game, if we're stupid enough to play that Trump or Sanders game, or left and right and immigrant and national, and like we are basically giving them right. We are telling them, yes, you're right, we are stupid. You're absolutely right, we are stupid. And you're right to massacre us, to treat us as slave, and to treat us as infant because we are behaving like that. Okay, so we cannot expect from those people to teach us how to grow up. We need to grow up, and we need to show the example. And that's what I try to do with those videos, just showing the example. I'm a simple dad, trying to show the example, and if I can inspire people, then you can do the same. You can inspire others, and you can inspire through what you say, what you do, what you are. Okay, so hello everyone from Norway. Here, one of the huge globalist money bags are one of the reasons we are today grow harm Butland. Okay, another point is that please stop thinking that your country is different from others, okay? Again, I'm receiving messages of saying, oh, you know, you don't understand, Canada is different, or America is different because here we have been dumped down and people are stupid and everything. Like, guess what? It's the same everywhere. Like, there's no difference between Canada, Norway, America, Australia. The same TV show are all over the place, the same supermarket, the same educational system, the same. Why? Because the same people above are controlling the whole machinery. The same people control the same media, they control the same educational system, they control the same financial system. That's why it's not surprising, it's not magical that suddenly you can see the same thing happening all over the place. It's just that the same people are in control. It used to be a conspiracy theory, and if you can't see that, if you cannot obviously see this obvious point, then you basically are too stupid to be saved. I'm sorry to say that. But yeah, just look around. If you really believe that the same pattern, the same vaccination agenda, the same educational system is going all over the place, the same food, the same. And it's just because we can't find better. It's just because we're not clever enough to find a better system. No, it's just because the people who are in charge already understand all those concepts, and they give you exactly what you need to know to just be smart enough to produce, but not smart enough to realize that you're just a slave. And if you think, again, this is a conspiracy, then you're just in the wrong place. Because I'm just not going to be here to waste my time with people who still believe that, no, we live in a happy world where coincidences are happening, you know? Like, I'm 40 years old, by the way. Like, some people think I'm 25, but yeah, I would love to be 25, but I'm 40 years old. And since I was a tiny children, I always was wondering, oh, okay, there's people dying of hunger somewhere in the world. And I was like, well, why? Why is it? Oh, maybe because like the world is changing and evolution is happening. But now 40 years later, the same shit is there. Nothing has changed. It's just have moved from countries to countries. Now people are dying of sickness and disease the same way they were dying 40 years ago. So things doesn't really change. Why? Like, it's like the people who think that we're in a crisis. You know, in France, we're using, we're in a crisis for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years, for 40 years. Look, when you were a teenager, when you came from childhood to adulthood, like you came through that thing called teenager. And when you were a teenager, you were in a crisis. And a crisis is defined by something that is only into a certain amount of space and time, you know, like if something is going forwards for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, it's not a crisis anymore. It's a system. It's a system that uses the word crisis to make you believe that, it's coincidental, you know, like coincidentally, we are getting poorer and poorer. We're losing privilege year after year. We're getting sicker. We're getting fed the wrong information and all that. And, it's just a question of crisis, you know, it's bad luck for 40 years. I don't think so. Okay. It's a system that is organized and that is merchandise human beings and reduce human beings into product and producers, basically. Anyway, I didn't want to talk too much about all this, but Francis already have 5,000 plus. Hey, Adam, Portugal is not awake. Yeah, Portugal is not awake, but it's a process, as I said. Yellow vests are worn by people whose cars break down on the road and are in trouble, Roman. Worn by people whose cars break down. Yes, if people are breaking cars and burning cars, like I cannot accept that. This is not okay. What I'm like, if you have to summarize the 5 principles of the yellow vest, first is peaceful protesters. Peaceful doesn't mean stupid. Okay, we are not stupid. So therefore, we need to be smart civil disobedience. We need to do smart civil disobedience. Okay, and burning cars is not smart civil disobedience. Okay, we need to be smarter than that. The third point is that we are against every form of political parties. So people who are speaking about political parties are not yellow vest. End of the story. Someone who's talking about immigration and blah, blah, blah and politics and stuff, you're not a yellow vest. There's no point talking to them. There's no point even wasting your energy with them. They're not yellow vest. No religion and no union, of course. Okay? And the 5th point is we are pro-RIC. Referendum initiated by the citizen. Okay? This is the only revocation that we're talking about. So stop asking me what I think about staying in European Union or what I think about immigration laws or energy laws. I'm only there for one message, which is to give the power back to people. That's it. Stop wasting your energy. Stop wasting my energy. I am here to spend my energy putting that seed in people's brain that we need to become powerful, politically powerful. All the rest is irrelevant. When we become politically powerful, we will take control of the politics and we will regain this power back and we will change the world the way we think it has to be done instead of asking the people in power to do it for us. Okay? So the solution is very simple. We need to become politically powerful.